Well, the British Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, and the French President, Emmanuel Macron, were also dialing in virtually to that Rome conference from London. Emmanuel Macron is continuing his state visit in the UK today, where he'll attend a second Ukraine conference, the Coalition of the Willing. Now, Zelensky has said he is set to discuss more financing for drone interceptors and air defense with partners there. We're going to talk more about all of this with our London correspondent, Bénédicte Paviot, who joins me now live. Bénédicte, let's talk first of all about this Coalition of the Willing that's coming up this afternoon, about 2:30 p.m. French time. What can we expect from that?
Well, what we can expect this afternoon is a very big focus on Ukraine. As you said, that coalition of the willing. So you have the British Prime Minister representing, obviously, the United Kingdom, and France being represented by President Macron on his third and final day of his state visit here. Two countries that have both really supported in various ways since the beginning of the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. They have supported President Zelensky, supported him also with army training, and that we're going to see that fleshed out more this afternoon. So what we're being told is that Mr. Starmer and Mr. Macron will co-host a video conference with their European allies to actually discuss the creation of this reassurance force that would be created and deployed in the event of a ceasefire in Ukraine. But also, given the stalled status of peace negotiations, indeed, with Russian President Vladimir Putin, what's also going to happen is that there's going to be a simultaneous focus on how to maintain Ukraine's fighting capabilities without, of course, relying on American help, without relying on aid from President Trump. So that's going to be the double-pronged focus of both the UK and British leader with a French leader with their European allies this afternoon, and of course in conjunction with Rome.
Bénédicte, stay with us. It does sound like there is a major protest going on by you, but we are going to try and keep going forward with the sound, if that's all right. Just put your microphone a little bit closer. Thank you so much. This, of course, comes, as you were saying, this third day of bilateral talks between the UK and France. One of the big issues that's come out of that is about migration and this one-in, one-out policy. Tell us a bit more about that.
Indeed, and by the way, the protests are actually about Palestine. So it's Palestinian protesters there wanting the creation of Palestine. Of course, that's picking up on the remarks that the French president made, amongst other things, when he made his speech 2 days ago to Parliament. So as talks kicked off, actually, of this UK-France summit here in Downing Street this morning, President Macron said France and the United Kingdom, to quote him, share the same will to address illegal immigration. Keir Starmer added that they agree the situation cannot go on as it is. So what would a deal look like? Well, what's being talked about here a lot in the British press is a one-in, one-out. So where the United Kingdom would send back an illegal migrant that had come across on a small boat. There have been 21,000 of them so far across the channel since January. And so the UK would send back one of those to France, and in exchange, what would happen is that the UK would accept one migrant from France, illegal migrant from France, who has, for example, family ties. We don't know if we're going to get that announcement this afternoon, but what is very clear is that there's real political will to try and reach a deal and try to reduce the number of migrants. One of the problems from the French perspective is that there is too much still of a pull factor by the United Kingdom. For example, in France, you have to have ID, formal ID on you, official ID at any time, an identity card, a passport. That is not true here in the United Kingdom. And what happens then? You can melt much more easily into the black economy. And we know that barber shops, we know that car washers, we know that, for example, Deliveroo drivers and other companies are using illegal migrants. So there is a lot of controversy here about that, and that is really also showing in the poll ratings of Keir Starmer.